Solutions for you.
Real life, real solution. Reentry TV. Real life, real solution. Reentry TV.
Solutions
Reentry TV.
for you.
Real life, real solution. Reentry TV. Real life, real solution. Reentry TV.
Good evening and welcome to Reentry TV. This is Funky Larry Jones.
And Lieutenant Manuel Fields.
Reentry TV. For real life, real solutions, it's Reentry TV. We hope ex-offenders get reacclimated back into the system with housing and substance programming, jobs. It's a one-stop shop. If you need help, there's a number on the screen, and you can go to the website at reentrytv.com for a lot of the services we provide for Reentry TV. But Lou, get started tonight with a
Super Bowl.
man.
I know that.
Man.
There's a lot
Man.
of disappointed people out there today. Even I went for Pittsburgh, but we must take our hats off to the Super Bowl champ, Green Bay Packers.
Boy.
Congratulations, you are the Super Bowl champions this year.
All right.
So, you know, it is what it is.
Yes, sir. And it's
Until
over.
next year.
Yeah, over and done.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, let us be the first to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. And you still have a few minutes to get to the
A
store.
very few minutes to go get the roses, the chocolate candy,
And the card.
and the card.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget the card.
Gotta have it.
And also for you ladies out there now, the guys like a little Valentine's too.
Yes, we do.
So I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Just a little something, something.
Yeah.
No diggity, no doubt. Let me stop. Tonight's show is a little bit different. We call this Reentry TV Unplugged.
Now what did the unplug mean?
You came up with it. You tell me. I have no idea.
Actually, it's a part of the show where we actually went out into the community.
Oh, okay.
And we were not in the studio, so we got out to get into the community to get different information to bring back to the viewing audience on what's going on out in the community. Some very important stuff too.
Yes, a lot of stuff going on in Austin. As you know, the Texas legislators are now in session. And one of the things that Governor Rick Perry put in front of the state senators and state representatives is our budget. And we're over budget, and he suggested a lot of massive cuts. And those cuts have come right into our backyard.
Yes, in dealing with reentry, reintegration, however you want to word it, it is affecting those people that are getting out of the prison, coming back into the community.
Right.
So that has a direct impact on what we do and what you as a community will have to face.
Right. Because a lot of these cuts will close some prisons, redirect others, cut back on services, which will be a loss of jobs to a lot of people just in that sector.
Yeah.
And then one of the proposed cuts at one of the facilities has a soap factory, and that's a big deal for the state because they provide services throughout the entire state.
Right. Matter of fact, the Central State Farm is where the soap factory is located in Sugar Land.
Right.
As a matter of fact, right outside of Sugar Land off of Highway 90.
Right.
And they develop bar soaps, dishwashing detergent, washing powder, and all of those detergents distributed amongst the rest of the prison throughout the state of Texas. So the question is, are they going to keep the soap factory open?
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to purchase the item from outside where it's going to cost some money?
Right.
You know, so there's a numerous of questions that need to be answered. And hopefully, in the very near future, we can get one of our, or a couple of our state representatives to come on the show and talk about these different things.
I think you got a call, Lou.
Okay.
Already?
Already, huh?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, caller.
Hi, my name is Shelly Jackson, and first I'd like to applaud you guys for the work that you're doing in the community. It's much needed, and it's a good thing that somebody is taking a stand and taking that on, and is really helping with reentry. And the second thing I'd like to ask is, what can a person in society do to help you guys?
Okay, that's a very good question. I'm going to hang up and we're going to get your question answered. Thank you for calling.
Okay, thank you.
So you have a lot of folk who want to help, Lou.
Yeah, well, dealing with these budget cuts,
Yeah.
being that the legislators have not signed any particular bills as of yet,
Right.
I think it would be a great idea to go online to get the different addresses. You should be able to go on the governor's web page. Always call your local state representative office, the Congress people, and write letters to our people in office in Austin and let them know your concerns about the different budget cuts, how it's going to have an impact, and request that they actually come out and talk about these things before those decisions are made.
Right.
And if we can't get any answer, then I would say, hey, let's load up and buses and go to Austin
Why not?
and get our voices heard. So that is definitely a way to help out with this particular budget cut dealing with reentry stuff.
If you're watching us for the first time, Reentry TV, there are literally thousands of institutions, caregiving facilities throughout the city of Houston and Harris County that will very quietly operate in people's neighborhoods that you don't even know anything about. And they're helping ex-offenders with jobs, training, education, computer programming, medical assistance, you name it. They're working, but they're working quietly. So you really want to encourage the writers of these bills to be careful about their budget cuts, because that affects jobs, it affects people. I mean, people's lives have been saved by what Reentry TV has been able to do and help them. So
Yeah.
you really want to appeal to your state legislators to find something else to cut out of the budget, but keep these programs working.
Yeah, I mean, you got programs like Project Rio that help prepare them prior to getting out with
Right.
resume writing, job leads, the reintegration department that our state representative Sylvester Turner got that bill. He authored that bill and got it passed to assist the ladies and the men, you know, prior to them getting out. So we definitely want to look at these things and matter of fact, see how effective these programs are. And hopefully there's been some research,
Yep.
you know, prior to putting them on the table to be eliminated.
Well, Lou, we've got a clip, and we want to show that with our audience right now. If you have any questions about any services, call the number on the screen or go to the website at ReEntryTV.com. You're watching Reentry TV Unplugged. It's a special night on Reentry TV. It's Reentry Unplugged. I'm your host, Frank Larry Jones.
And I'm Lieutenant Manuel Fields.
And you should know us by now. It's all about real life and real solutions, Reentry TV. And oh, by the way, for the thousands of former inmates who've checked us out on the website, who've gotten some help from the show, we appreciate you. You're watching us tonight? Make sure you call the number on the screen or go to the website at ReEntryTV.com. Now, Lou and I mentioned that it's unplugged because we're talking about something that's kind of unique that is before the state legislature right now. They want to close down the Central Farm Unit.
Yeah, the Central State Farm, located in Sugar Land off of Highway 90, going toward Richmond. Now, the Central State Farm is a minimum security facility.
Okay.
And I know for sure that it houses at least a minimum of 1,000 male. It's a male facility. But with them looking at closing it down, the question is, where will they go?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's an overcrowdedness in TDCJ right now. So to be closing down a prison unit, are we planning to open up one somewhere else? Are we planning on releasing them at an alarming rate? You know, what are the plans? What's on the table right now?
And we understand budget cuts, and we understand that our lawmaking friends and buddies in Austin have a tremendous job to bring the Texas state budget into compliance. But why this unit? There's a soap factory. There are many places you can go, in my opinion, to make other budget cuts. I don't think any of the gentlemen who are there trying to get their lives together, who've been through that unit, like you mentioned, it's a minimum security.
Right.
So they don't pose a threat at all.
Well, and you're absolutely right. Now the question is, are there problems with this particular unit, since it's one of the oldest units in the prison system? I mean, how much money, tax dollars, will it take to bring it up to standards, to continue to pass inspection on an annually basis? So that could have something to do with it. And I'm not just trying to give them a way out, you know, even though I worked there for a while, but reality is what it is. Now what we really need to do is get some of our state representatives on the show and do as we promised, to bring information to you on a weekly basis on what's going on in the community, what's actually happened in the real world concerning reentry, what's going on with the prison, and hopefully what's going on with this legislation section.
I'd sure hate to think that a couple of the high-rolling landowners and big developers had any influence in Austin to sell that property, but we'll keep our eyes on it for you.
Well, you know, there's a lot of land around that area that have already been sold to different developers. But we'll stay tuned.
But you know,
right here,
there's a landing strip that runs right between that whole facility. Look.
Yeah, for that airport. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So we're gonna stay tuned.
I'm just saying.
And we're gonna get back with you right here on Reentry Unplugged.
Welcome back to Reentry TV this Monday night, Valentine's night. Reentry TV with yours truly, Funky Larry Jones.
And Lieutenant Manuel Fields.
The M-A-I-N. The main man.
Is that what that means?
That's what you are, sir.
All right, and you the other main man.
I'm a madman, that's for sure. All right, use the phone, use the website. We're here for you. This is a service program dealing with reentry, re-entering back into society. Lou, I know this is close to your heart. What do you see happening with Reentry TV now? What do we need to do?
Well, you know, with the call that we just got earlier on the show from one of the people that were listening in the community, you know, the question came up, you know, what can they do? And some of the ideas that I have is to develop a coalition of ex-offenders and their families to come together to make a difference. Not to cause a riot, you know, anything of that nature like in Egypt.
Correct.
You know, we definitely don't want to go that direction, but I think if we can pool a number of people together on one accord in unity, you know, the word of God says, wherever there's unity, there's commanded blessing.
Yes, sir.
Which means there's blessing that's commanded to come to wherever there's unity, whether it wants to or not. So
you would take a group of ex-offenders with their families?
Yes, to address some of the issues dealing with people re-entering back into society, like some of the budget cuts. You know, this would be a great time if we were already organized to go before the legislature in Austin and let our voice be heard, saying, you know, hey, why can't we cut somewhere else opposed to dealing with certain things? Have someone as a spokesperson that have had to deal with the barriers of going through the system, you know. So I mean, I really couldn't do it enough justice just by having a show if we're not making a difference in society. So what I would like to do is invite the people out there that are listening to call the number 281-445-6141 or email us. Go on our website, ReEntryTV.com, and send us an email if this is something that you're interested in to becoming part of this coalition.
Man, not to cut you off, Lou, but I see a caravan of vans and trucks and cars all going down to Austin.
Yes.
Just in support of ex-offender rights, if you will, and
I mean,
that could happen big.
When we were looking at the deal earlier throughout the course of the show, I think it was in November or December, when we were looking at the voting rights from state to state of people that been to prison.
Right.
One of the things that we discovered, there are a couple of states that allow prisoners to keep their rights while they're locked up. And there's several states that allow them to get their rights back after they get out of prison, even though they're still on parole or probation.
So
they're able to vote again.
Gotcha.
And I think that's crucial because, you know, you're giving that person their voice back.
Yeah.
But here in Texas, if you did 20 years, get out, get a job, go to work, pay your bills, pay taxes like everybody else.
Right.
If you're still on parole for another 20 years or probation, guess what? You can't vote for another 20 years, even though you're paying what everybody else is paying.
So no matter what you do, there's no way to get your right to vote back.
There's no recourse until you all the way off of supervision.
Okay.
And that's what they call parole and probation.
I got you.
So I think things like that as a unit, one voice, things like that can be addressed.
Some of those years could be repealed back, don't you think?
Well, probably so, but I mean, even if the state of Texas decide, okay, well, when you get out,
right,
if you are taking care of your business, reporting the way you're supposed to, paying taxes the way you're supposed to, just give a person a time frame.
Yeah.
You know, opposed to, you know, if you still on parole or probation for another 10, 15 years, just say, well, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, at least 1 year after you get out, you can submit your papers to become a voter again.
Well, you've done your time to society. I mean, and can you tell me why your voting right is taken away in the first place? I mean, what's that supposed to do?
Well, I have no idea other than taking a voice, and when you take a voice away from a man,
Yeah.
or woman,
Yeah.
you know, a citizen of the United States
Right.
of America, and I hate using this term, but to me it goes back to slavery. You know, that mindset. I mean, I've had a couple of employees. I never forget, man, a couple of years ago, it was time to vote. And some of my employees were going out to vote, and that particular employee didn't leave. And it didn't dawn on me that he was on parole. I mean, you know, he'd been out for maybe 15 years.
Wow.
Paying bills, raising a family, buying a home, paying taxes. And so I said, well, you know, everybody going to vote. He said, well, Lieutenant, you know I can't vote. And man, it knocked me down, man. You know, I'm like, man, I forgot, I'm sorry.
You think if you pay taxes, you should have your right to vote.
I mean, you should be accounted for.
Yeah, you would think that.
Your parole fees are paid.
Yeah.
All of that. So, you know, things like that, man, you know, I understand it's been on the books for years.
Right.
That doesn't make it right.
Correct.
You know, so now is the time for us to pull together as a community and sit down at the table and see what's fair. You know, maybe the people that developed that at the time needed that particular law written that way at that particular time. But now we're in a new age.
Yeah.
And it's time to look at some of those things and see what needs to be adjusted.
All right, stay tuned. ReEntryTV Unplugged. It's a little different look tonight, a little bit more, a different energy, I'll put it that way. But the services are still the same, and we can get you housing, we can get you a job, we can get you some training. If you are suffering substance abuse, we can take care of that too. Just go to the website or check out the phone number at the bottom of the screen. But ReEntryTV is good for you and it's good for the community, and we truly appreciate you watching tonight. This is ReEntryTV Unplugged. Welcome back to another edition of Reentry TV. This is Funky Larry Jones.
And Lieutenant Manuel Fields.
Reentry TV Unplugged. Tonight, we've got a serious situation in Sugar Land. One of the oldest units might be on the chopping blocks, Lou.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's the Central State Farm, is what they call it, located in Sugar Land off of Highway 90. This particular unit, Brother Larry, has been labeled to be closed or eliminated as they have it before the legislature right now for a few years. Unfortunately, it has remained open. But right now, they're voting to determine whether it will be closed as of September 1st of 2011, this year.
Now, you may know someone that's come through the Central Unit Farm. You probably have seen it. There's an airstrip out there, lots of farmland. And like I said, it's been around for a long time. What we've also learned is that this particular unit makes soap for inmates.
Yes.
Washing powder.
Dishwashing detergent.
Dishwashing detergent.
Yeah.
So it's a self-contained productive unit. So it does more than just house inmates.
Absolutely. Not only does it house them, but it distributes those items that you just mentioned throughout the state to the other prisons that's located here in the state of Texas. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do with the soap factory part. Are they going to eliminate the entire facility as well as the soap factory? Or are they going to transport some people there? There's also a trustee camp located right beside the Central State Farm.
Right.
So what's in question is, are they going to actually eliminate the trustee camp as well?
So with all the brand new sprawling developments, these multi-million-dollar homes in the Sugar Land area, you got to ask yourself, you've got a productive system, guys have been going through, taking care of their business, coming out, and you've got this multi-billion-dollar soap factory on this particular grounds. But what now? Why now would they want to close this facility? Could it be the land? Could it be a close friend in Austin who says, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours? We'll keep you posted, but why now?
Yeah.
Why now do you want to close the Central Farm unit in Sugar Land? Stay tuned to Reentry TV. We'll get you caught up.
Solution.